What can the law allow us to do when we see an animal who is suffering horrifically?
Welcome to the Hen Report from our hen house. This is Jasmin Singer.
This is Mariann Sullivan.
Oh, wow. Like, there's so much in that sentence today. You okay?
I was trying.
No. This is my impression.
This is Mariann Sullivan.
No, you were like, this is Mariann Sullivan. And your eyes were like,
I am not.
your eyes were like,
I am not a
help
good
me.
actor.
You are such a good actor.
It has been a very tough week for everybody in this country, I would say, being the United States of America, and probably a lot of people not in this country, because they all have their own problems. As we all know, we tend to think that our problems are the big problems and not pay attention to other people's. But let's face it, what's going on in our country right now is bad news for everybody. And it got big this week. It's just like been exhausting. I don't know. Doesn't everybody feel like that? Oh, also, I stopped drinking caffeine yesterday. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That could be the entire
I would have canceled our hen house for at least 2 weeks. Why did you do that?
Well, I don't know. Like I don't want to go into all the reasons, but it seemed like the healthy thing to do. Well, not caffeine totally, because I'm going to try to have green tea because they say that's good for you. But I just felt like maybe I shouldn't be drinking coffee. I don't know. I'm just fooling with it. I don't have a huge caffeine addiction. But I do usually have 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
Wow.
And I stopped yesterday. I don't have any headache, but
you're a little
my energy's
you're
been better.
foggy.
And my energy, as we all know, even at the best of times, is not exactly what one would call dynamic.
You know, I feel like I'm in a constant threat of gaslighting myself about like whether I'll just stop doing something that's good for me. Like if I stop running or something.
Is that the proper use of the term gaslighting?
No. I'm taking poetic license.
As long as you're acknowledging that.
Yeah, no, I'm taking poetic license. I don't actually think it's possible to gaslight yourself.
But that term is very special and means a very specific thing. And I don't think we should mess with it. But
But didn't you know what I meant?
You actually mean lying.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like PTSD based, I think, like fake PTSD, FPTSD. Like if I'm, I try and run.
Yeah, let's not claim we have
PTSD. I try and run 3 times a week, and like if one day I don't, I'm pretty sure I'll just never run again. Or if
oh yeah, I mean, sure, everybody does that sort of thing. You try to form a good habit, and then and then there's that scary thing. If you break it once, that's it,
exactly.
Which
is the case.
The case, which is why we have that fear.
But I think so much of my mental energy, when it's not focused on the shit show that is the United States of America, or the shit show that is animal exploitation, is being focused.
I don't think we should. I mean, there are many good things in the United States of America. I mean, there are some problems as well, but I wouldn't make it equivocal to the shit show of animal agriculture, which is
100%
like a shit show from beginning to end, both literally and figuratively.
When I'm not focused on those things, I tend to be focused on like not dropping a ball, just whether like everything has to be constantly being juggled.
Yeah. I think that's one of the ways we all distract ourselves. I think you might do it a little bit. You really try to keep a lot of balls in the air. And it does distract us from, the big, the existential stuff.
So I was emceeing this gala last week on Friday. The Goodwill of the Finger Lakes Gala.
Yeah, I missed it. I admit. So tell us.
Yeah, I love Goodwill as an organization. Like I just love the work they do for textile recycling, but also community engagement, and on a very basic level, I find it fun to like have something in my life that I support that I can also like enjoy doing on a Saturday afternoon.
Can I just say one thing? Like I love Goodwill too, but I think a lot of their stuff is overpriced, especially their housewares.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
This is supposed to be for I mean, you could buy cheap housewares at Walmart. Like
Well,
it's not like these things are really expensive. These are some. I think the houseware stuff, which I look at a lot because I get sick of looking at clothes and I'm in the store with you, and then I have to look at something else. No, they're meant for people who are kind of broke. They should be
right.
cheaper.
Well,
That's
it
my
keeps it out
opinion.
of the landfill. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I go to the bins, which is the clearance center where it's by weight, and that's you can't get cheaper than that unless it's free.
No, no, I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
I
the
get
bins.
you. But anyway, so I really had a great time. The funny thing is that during my MC speech, I kept making these like vegan references. Like I was talking about the bins and how it's one of the two places in Rochester where you can get things by the pound. And I was like, does anyone know what the other one is? And I said, the vegan butcher, grass fed. But Sequence does not
Oh, good,
the
good little
yeah, but
plug.
Sequence does not sizzle up as well as chickpea brisket. You know, like I just kept trying to get in the little vegan
Yeah,
things.
no, that you always do that. I think it's great.
I mean, the annoying thing is that I had made sure that there would be vegan food there, and I asked so many times, and unfortunately, the vegan food was like fruit and crudités.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, to
sad.
be honest, there wasn't much food in
It's healthy.
general. Yeah, I'm sure, but that was sad. But I brought up veganism with like repeatedly within the scope of talking about my care of the issue that we were all there to celebrate and champion.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all became
I
vegan.
wonder what Michael Dorf would say about that, given our conversation last week about how sometimes conflating issues is not necessarily a beneficial thing.
Oh, I think that's
How
different.
so?
I think that express like just talking about how there are analogies for you between issues is a way of introducing the issue, insisting that everybody like like has to be on the same page about
Mm.
everything. Or they're not truly like you're not truly vegan unless you're on also thrifting, like doing something like that, putting a lot of barriers up. I think that's
I
problematic.
have
But just expressing, like as a way of expressing that these things are related for you, I think that's positive.
Well, I want to give one little tip before we move on, which is that I've recently been shopping at the Goodwill online. So it's Shop Goodwill is the
Oh my
website.
God, like you're
I
like
know, but it's mostly presents I'm getting for people.
you're on a
The-
roll. Oh,
yeah,
good. Something to look forward to.
excuse me, it is. That sounded sarcastic, but it is. You just
I
wait. You just wait. But
yeah, I'm already
but
waiting.
in any case, so I just wanted to give people a tip if they're shopping. So Shop Goodwill, the website, if you type in vegan, all of this vegan leather stuff comes up, and I got a vegan leather jacket from Abercrombie and Fitch that is retailed at like $120 resale, and I got it for $11. And there's so many things like that. So I just
Oh, wow, this is really good
because it's
deal.
like an auction, so you make a bid, but there's so many
Yeah, like
things.
eBay.
Yeah, but there's so many things on it that there's no way people are seeing all of them. Anyway, I recommend it. So that's my tip of the day that nobody
Yeah,
asked
all right.
for.
But we've already established that thrifting and veganism, while related for you, are not the same thing, so may not be interesting to everybody who's listening. So
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about our podcasts. I think that we should mention that Rising Anxieties, which I do all on my own, all on my
Mhm.
lonesome, just me and the camera, so I could use some company. Comes out on Tuesdays. The Hen Report comes out on Thursday. This long form interview on Fridays, and bonus for Flock members comes out on Monday. Of course, if you want to be a Flock member, we would really love that. And of course, as we keep saying, we're on YouTube. So like and subscribe everywhere you can because it really helps. Because it's sad because I go on
Oh my
YouTube and
God.
everybody else I watch has 10 million, 10 million likes, and we're like all excited. Oh, we have 50 people
Hey, it's
watched
more
it,
than
which
that.
is exciting. We appreciate every
Well,
single
it's
one
because
of you 50
the
people, like so
but
much. But, it would be
It's
nice to
only
see this.
because we're
Go
just
ahead.
on YouTube newly. Like we get something like 10,000 downloads a month on podcast apps, but that's audio.
Yes, no, I know the podcast, but I mean, I go on YouTube, as you know, more than one should, and that's what I see. And 50 is
I
good.
see.
If I gave a speech tomorrow in front of 50 people, like that would be amazing. But yeah,
All right.
whatever.
Mo-
Let's
Moving
move
on.
on. Let's
So
move
what
on.
do you want to chat about today?
Well, I mean, I just thought we were talking before we started about what we should talk about. We couldn't think of much of anything. But I think the reason I can't think of much of anything is because what's going on in the country and in the world is just so bad. But I do think we should give a nod to it and to the fact that people out there are probably discombobulated.
Hmm.
Because I am. And this is horrible. What we're living through is just really ugly. And I'm sure that everybody shares that. I do try to hang on to the idea that we're in a time of change, and we live in awareness of horror, of things that are happening that are horrible, just absolutely awful all the time, unlike the rest of the world. And so, there are these moments in history where like sudden shifts happen, like things don't change necessarily linearly.
Hmm.
And we should never forget the animals and try to bring, if people actually saw the world the way that animal rights activists see the world, like many things would change. I'm not saying everything would be perfect. We're not perfect. They're not perfect, but so much of this would be
How
different
so?
if people valued the consciousness and life the way that animal activists do, and saw the reality of everything that's going on in the world, and some of which we can fix, some of which we can't. That would become so much more their focus than so many of the political divides. And I also, as we always say, this is not an issue that, I'm not saying everybody feels the same way about it, but it doesn't break along any of the traditional political lines. You just can't make it, because there are people all over the place politically who get it about animals. I've always said, if you drop me down, um, parachuted me into anywhere in the world, which please don't do, I'd probably die. But if I didn't die, there would be some people there who get it about animals. I mean, they just would. Like, we're everywhere. And right now, the only people who really see it are the people who are like us, who, for some reason, like can see beyond all of the cultural stuff that tells you this is not
Hmm.
important. But there's more and more of us. It's still tiny, but there's more and more of us. And I think everybody's capable. Not everybody. I shouldn't exaggerate, but I think really a lot of people are capable of it. I mean, like, I'm trying to express what it is that's different, but we all know that this changes the way you see the world, because it changed
With
us.
everything that's going on right now in the news in the US, where do animals fit in for you? Like, does it become like you have a finite amount of energy and mental space and emotional capacity to handle everything, or is it a, a giant, an infinite hole that you can continue to put everything in? I mean, like, how do you
I did not
how do
understand
you
the question
continue to
at all.
focus on animal issues when you're
Well, because they're all, I mean, like, that's my passion in life. I mean, that's what I care about. I'm not going to just because there are other things going on. I mean, there are always other things going on. And also, I just see them all as the same thing. It's you know, this, should we call it live and let live? Just
Mhm.
I obviously didn't invent that, but it's kind of my philosophy. Like, if we could all just enter into a little bit more of a live and let live philosophy for all conscious beings. And so it's all the same thing to me. I don't know, sort of. Isn't it for you?
Absolutely. I mean, it's who I am, and it my veganism,
It's not
my animal
separate.
rights ethos is how I relate to the world, regardless of whether we're
Yeah,
talking about
exactly.
animals or goodwill or the news. It's how I relate to the world.
Exactly.
So, what has been going on this week in the world of animal rights?
No, really important stuff and easy to overlook it when other things are
Mhm.
happening. But the really, really big thing, and I'm not sure there's that much for us to say about it because we've already talked about it a lot, but is Zoe Rosenberg's trial began. And it's something that I think everybody in this movement, many of us are extremely concerned and taken up with it. And if you aren't, you should be because it's really important. And so Zoe's been on the podcast, I think, a couple of times. And she is, of course, I mean, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the case. She's 23. She's been charged with felony conspiracy and 3 misdemeanors for rescuing 4 chickens from Purdue's Petaluma Poultry Slaughterhouse. And she's got great representation. And this is one of those legal events that is really going to, as many of Direct Action Everywhere's cases have, is going to get to the real issues, like what what can the law allow us to do when we see an animal who is suffering horrifically? Um, is it just everything is the only legal relationship to animals property rights? It's clearly not. We have actual laws that protect animals, even from people who quote unquote own them. So clearly not. So where does the law lie when somebody sees animals who are suffering who don't belong to them? Can they rescue them? Can they save them? And if the answer to that is no, there's just something very, very wrong. And we all know it.
Yeah.
It makes me insane. And, Zoe is just like a heroic figure and the perfect representative to bring this message.
I wonder how much this will also shift, if at all, the court of public opinion with those broader questions that this kind of a trial brings up. Like, not only the legal status, but what does it say about our food system when rescuing a sick bird is treated as more serious than letting that bird, I don't know, waste away in a warehouse? Like, how does the news element of this create social shifts?
I mean, I think that was the whole goal. In and I don't want to speak for other people, so these are my own thoughts about what has been going on with Direct Action Everywhere and Wayne Shang's thought, in his role in founding it, and of course the other people who were involved in it, and their role in strategizing has always been that this by doing these rescues and making the story of a human who who acted in this way to save animals is a way to get that public attention. And once you have the public attention, we know that once people see it, they hate it. But I would say by and large it hasn't worked. I think that they probably expected to be able to get much more attention, and there's just it hasn't been nothing, but it's not as big as it should be. This should be huge news, and it's not. It's just not. I mean, it's gotten some articles, and the Times covered it a bit when Wayne Shang was on trial, and so there's not been nothing. But we still have not found that way to break through into being able to tell people stuff that they really want to know. They should know. I don't know whether they want to know it. They don't want to know it, but they should know about the food they eat and about the lives they live. But the forces opposed to it are great. So anything that anybody can do to bring attention to these trials, I think, is important. But it's still on us. It's still on animal rights activists, and there's more of us than there used to be, and they're more effective than they used to be. But it's still on us.
Well,
I don't want to get everybody
but we don't
depressed.
know. I mean, like the truth is,
No, we don't.
but it's
We have to
possible
keep
that
plugging, and then all of a sudden it
you have to
happens.
assume that the work that's being done now is going to lead to change, even if it's not immediate. I mean, even if it's not happening in real time, even if it's not, in our lifetime.
Yeah, you have to
You have
assume that,
to.
because what else are you gonna do?
I mean, and I just keep
Yeah.
thinking of our across the street neighbor, Susan B. Anthony, who's buried across the street, who did not live to see women have the right to vote, and she had to believe too. So,
Absolutely. I mean, I absolutely agree with that.
right.
The work must continue.
So let's
But I think there was hope that these trials would gain more traction than they have, and maybe they still will. I mean, because they are like these dramatic stories of these heroic young people who are risking their lives and their freedom to save these animals who are suffering horrifically. Like why is that not not important? It's not important because the powers in opposition are very, very strong, and people, I guess, don't want to still don't want to hear it. But I think we're getting closer. I do. I think we're getting closer. It's just that every time you want it to be big.
Yeah.
Because we kind of know, I mean, and this is the reason it's not bigger. We kind of know that once you really pay attention to what's going on, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. So they don't want people to pay attention. Oh,
Well, let's move on. There's
got
some
me
good
like
news.
ruminating today, like
No, there's
on
some
and
good
on. Like
news.
I'm sick of listening
There's
to
some
myself.
good news in Colombia.
Yeah.
A centuries-old tradition has come to an end. The country's
Bullfighting.
the country's constitutional court has issued a sweeping ban on bullfighting and other violent spectacles involving animals, like cockfighting and other ones as well. This was a unanimous ruling, I think. The justices called these events acts of animal abuse. This is good news.
It's super good news. I mean, it's really emblematic of the fact that a lot has been going on in Latin America that is really exciting, and there seems to be real recognition. So yeah, these are strong traditional activities, and they have been banned. And a lot of long term work on the part of activists. I think they got it through the Congress first, and then it went through the courts. I don't know exactly how the Colombian legal system works, but it says here the victory of the animal rights activists was achieved after 14 failed attempts.
Wow.
So there you
So
go.
that makes
There you go. That says it all.
exactly.
Keep trying.
I love when, for lack of a better word, compassion and dignity stands at the center of tradition. And this is so key to what so many animal activists hear all the time. Like, oh, I couldn't go vegan because my mother makes this brisket on, the holidays or whatever. And, we're starting to replace these exploitative traditions with the vegan versions of them, or the versions that don't involve an animal suffering at the center of the plate or the ring. So I love that story. And I think, like you said, this does say everything, doesn't it? What else do we have? I'm looking at our list here.
Well, I found this post from Lady Freethinker, who was on, I can't remember her real
Nina.
name. She was on the podcast.
Yeah, Nina Jackal.
Right. And it says stop plans to build research primate housing facility in Texas. And this is about Charles River Laboratories, the notorious Charles River Laboratories. And they were attempting to set up a facility in Brazoria, Texas. And people were really opposed to it. And the county commissioners voted against it. They didn't want it there. But apparently they didn't have the final say. That was with the state and federal regulators, and so they had to continue to fight. And then the end of this story is update: Charles River Laboratories dropped its plans to build the facility.
Wow.
Nice.
That's so great.
Really nice. Good work
for
people.
So many reasons, this debate over animal testing, this is really shifting. I mean, this has been shifting in huge ways just this year. Let alone since we started doing our hen house over the last 16 years. And, this is one of those things that the answer is coming more and more from state regulators, but also just...
I don't think this was from to be fair, I'm not sure the state regulators did anything.
Oh, okay.
I think it was from what I can tell from this article, people just spoke out so much that they kind of said, yeah, maybe we shouldn't put our facility there.
I love that. See, look at
Yeah,
us
me
having
too.
good news, even though
I
my grandmother used to say, "I love you," even though it was like a old Jew joke
yeah.
kind of thing. Like, look at us having good news,
I once heard
even though.
I once heard an expression which I always thought was very good, which kind of that was the funny way of saying it, but it was one likes because one loves in spite of.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Do you have any book
Um
suggestions? I'm not clear on.
I have
Oh,
one
okay.
and I don't really understand it, but I'm going to talk about it because somebody sent it to me and I actually it's this is
What's it
the
called?
book. It's called Lament of Hathor. It's by Samuel Baca Henry. I actually looked at this a while ago. I don't understand this book. I think it's a self-published book. It's just so interesting that I'm going to tell you
Wait, you don't
about it.
understand it, but
All
it's
right, so
interesting and you're telling us about it. I'm fascinated right now. Why?
this guy went with his parents to Egypt, and he learned about various figures of Egyptian. You know, he did a lot of the tour of the pyramids and whatever, and he decided there's a certain style in ancient Egyptian poetry, and so he was at the temple of Hatshepsut in Deir el Bahari. I'm sorry, Deir el Bahari. Um, and he was inspired by this carved stone relief depicting the pharaoh nursing from the cow goddess Hetheru's udders, and she is a cow goddess embodying the ideals of motherly love and other traits: fertility, daily personal and cosmic resurrection, dance, joy, sexuality, music. So she really kind of covered it all. And he was just struck by the contradiction of seeing cows in nature and appreciating their motherly care for their calves versus the way mother cows and baby calves are treated in reality. And when he returned home, he was inspired to write this. It's a poem, really. It's a book length poem. It's called a lament, and in the style of ancient Egyptian laments, which were particular. I could be misreading this, and if I am, I'm sorry. Um, it's just so like it's really elaborate. It's quite beautiful. It's full of illustrations of ancient Egyptian pottery. I'm not. If you're interested in religion and animals, I don't think you should miss this one because it's crazy. Well, I don't mean crazy in like any serious sense. I just mean what a thing to have sat down to do.
Yeah, we'll link to it in the show notes. It's what's the name again?
Lament of Hathor, Hathor.
Okay, very cool. All right. Well, hopefully, if you are listening to this, you caught our interview last Friday with Adam Durand. It was such a great interview, and the one tomorrow is too totally different than the one last week. Tomorrow, we're talking to the folks from Food and Water Watch and a New York State legislator to talk about what states can do, and some in New York and elsewhere are actually trying to do to put some limitations on how big factory farms can get. It was a really fascinating discussion. It was very different, I think, for us, and it's just a different take on how to change the world for animals. And for those of you who are flock members, our bonus content coming out next week will be the rest of the conversation with Chrissy Kasserman and Alex Beauchamp from Food and Water Watch. So definitely check that out. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming up on our Henhouse. So thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcatcher or here on YouTube. And donate if you are able to. Become a flock member. We have some great, really cool perks at ourhenhouse.org/support. Talk to you next time.